Yeah. Obviously, we got a big matchup, in-state rivalry going on. Texas A&M are playing well right now. They're deep with their pitching. A lot of options they can throw at us. Top half of their orders really hitting the ball well. Powell's always, a threat to get on base. And then, of course, Edwards, Perez, Walker, and Kowalewski are all doing a pretty good job there. So, the advantage we got is playing at home, in front of our crowd, which should help us.
We'll open it up to questions now if you use the raised hand function. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you about last weekend first. What did you see that you really liked? I mean, that was a tough team you played, and you guys did well against them. What did you see that impressed you the most?
Yeah, I think just contributing throughout the lineup. We had good pitching. I thought that Teagan handled them really well on the second day. And of course, Hannah Wells getting a crucial start for us and showing us that she can handle some really good hitters. So we're encouraged by that. And so those good things we took away from that.
Eric?
Coach, just talk about this stretch. I mean, you play an emotional, tense game with Texas State last night, where Texas State, that's their third game they circle against you. Now you got the quick turnaround with A&M. How, as a staff, do you prepare your team in a week like this?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I mean, you never know until you get out there and start playing them. But I think that iron sharpens iron, and playing those tough environments. And as Coach Zaleski said in our after game talk, it was about the first time we really kind of been tested, being down and the ability to come back away from home. So I thought there was a good sign right there. I wish our starting pitching had gone a little bit deeper into the game than what it did, but they put us under some pressure.
When you see A&M, what jumps out about their pitching here as the season has gone on?
Well, Lincenteen, we faced their stuff in the fall, and they did a pretty good job against us. She's ability to spin the ball up with a curveball and good off speed, and then Peters with some high velocity up in the zone. I mean, they're able to mix and match a little bit, and then have several others. Mullen comes in and throws a lot of change ups. Sparks is good pitcher, so they got some variety throughout the lineup of their pitching staff. That if they can probably mix and match. I'm not sure how they're going to start, but I'm sure Lincenteen will start for them.
Peyton?
Um, Obviously with A&M being another in-state program, I would imagine there's some overlap recruitment wise. Are there any players that you recognize from high school in Texas that you looked at all?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Obviously Powell was one what would have been on our radar. She started at UCLA, then transferred over, but good speed. Ed was just a kid that the OSU, and quite a few of them have been on the transfer portal except for Perez. But she's showing she can really handle this level of pitching, having a great season or great couple of seasons. Michaela Walk's another one that's transferred over. Kowalewski was one I really liked, but she turned us down. So she wanted to go to Florida, and obviously transferred there as well. KK Dement had a great year last year. Good looking at bat. So there's several kids that we cross over on the recruiting trail, and sometimes you never know how they're going to turn out till they turn out on the field.
Justin?
Yeah, Coach, I'm curious. A game like last night, hard fought, you sneak it right out. How much momentum can you get from a game like that, from a win like that, to carry into the weekend? It's a midweek game, so it's definitely different than if you swept a series or something. But how much momentum can that one game on a Wednesday night give you going into a weekend series like this?
Well, it gave us ability. We saw a lot of change ups last night, so that's always good. And of course, seeing a talented left-hander as such as Azua, it was good to see. I mean, even if it wasn't just for this weekend, they don't have too much for left-hand pitching. A couple of lefties in there, but just seeing different types of pitching really helped us. So that's the main kind of takeaway we take away from it. And like I said before, just being down and being pressured, it was good for us.
Harge?
Thanks. Coach, I wanted to ask you about Katie Stewart. I know that we talk a lot about what most of your players do and how they go about it. But Katie Stewart is doing something that is very, very rare. She's got, what, 20 extra base hits, and 16 of them are home runs. Her being in that lineup in front of Atwood. Talk about her development and how good she's been playing.
Yeah, I think we've seen a switch in her mental process. I know she was getting frustrated on some areas she was being attacked in early in her career, and she's been able to make those adjustments, look back at it, and made them in the off season. And I think I said at the start of the year in the fall, I thought she was going to have a breakout year for her, and she's sure starting to look that way right now. I mean, you can see it. She's just really confident at the plate.
We got any other question? Peyton?
Coach, obviously Kaden Henry and Leanne Good being in the 1 and 2 spots have given you a lot of opportunity and have a really good percentage at getting on base. Kaya Altmaier has really solidified herself into that number 3 spot. What is the biggest thing that you look for from her as a batter?
It's just ability to drive those runs in because frequently those, Caden and Leanne are getting on base. So, Caden has a lot of speed. So if she can be moved over, Leanne's pretty good at the short game. So Kaya's job is really to drive those runs in. I didn't have quite a successful night last night, struggled a little bit, but, this game is about that. Sometimes it's just not going to be your day. And that's where you need the depth in your lineup. And we've got that. But Kaya's impressed me with her ability to keep mentally calm, the ability to reset and just put things in perspective. Excuse me.
Eric?
Coach, we talked about your defense last week, and I thought of that last night, how the game finished with your defense closing the game with the double play. Just talk about where your defense is at this week, because I know that's going to be key in this weekend series.
Yeah, I mean, we've shown some really good plays, and then we've made some bungles here and there. I mean, they last night they scored their first run on a poor throw from Leanne, and we didn't pick it. But at least we had the right idea to try and turn that double play. But we've shown that we can when we really have our mind to it, we can play some really good defense, and so that's what we're going to need against a team like A&M and anybody in the SEC or anybody in the country. To tell you the truth, I've always said that every time you have an error, it's 1/3 of an inning. So 3 errors in a game is one extra inning versus yours. So we got to limit those, and of course we know that the recipe for that is the walks as well with the pitchers, and that's kind of something that let us down a little bit last night. We had 6 walks and 2 hit by batters, and you start doing that kind of stuff against these good teams, and it's just giving them too much opportunity to score runs.
What's the key to containing that A&M offense? You mentioned obviously the free passes, but what else does your pitching staff have to execute this weekend?
Top half of the lineup, you got to keep them off base and limit the damage that Perez can do against you. Kowalewski is one that I think's been swinging the bat really well for them. Somebody is sleeping down there a little bit, so you got to watch out for her. She's a tough stick. And of course, keeping Powell off base. I mean, she's really fast, and she's stolen a bunch of bases for him. I think 16 bases plus. So it's just neutralizing that and just bend but don't break. Don't give up the crooked numbers, and hopefully our offense will come through to score more runs.
Justin?
Yeah, Coach, I'm getting a little ahead of the game here, but I am curious. Like, you've got A&M this weekend, tough series. Bama next weekend on a short week, tough series. How does the short week with the Easter holiday, how does that affect your prep? You have one tough series. You got to, see what you take away from it on Monday, go right into Tuscaloosa on Thursday. How does that short week affect your preparation and just your process?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's obviously you lose one day of practice, which is going to be more difficult for us for sure. And, for the freshmen that haven't been in that situation before, it'd be a bit of a test. A lot of it's going to depend on how much we use Kavan, this weekend. I'm hoping we can kind of limit her innings, but a lot of that's going to be, approaching this weekend first and not looking at the following weekend. We don't know, can't really control that. So we'll use Kavan when we need to and do what we have to do to try and win this series. It's important. We're in a title chase right now. We've got to make sure that we're staying up, and staying ahead of the game.
Do we have any other questions for Coach White? Okay. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.